But my concern is actually that the fish is getting a little lost.
Haven't you had enough fish flavor by now?
No, man. I read a whole book on fish. I can keep going forever.
Thank you, Iron Chef.
Thank you, Vince.
We have a camera up with the judges. I would like to start with our newest member, Trevor. I hope you're excited to be here. We're certainly glad to have you.
I am.
I know that you are very knowledgeable about fish. Give us some insight from a cook's perspective, if you would, on this particular fish.
Well, and I'm really enjoying the excitement of all this fish butchery that's going on here. It's very exciting. One of the things that worries me is I, of course, tend to be of the mind that fish taste best when they're raw and unadorned, uncooked. So I'm very interested to see what the chefs are going to do with these fish to bring out flavor and deal with all those challenges.
Please describe this dish to us.
So this is sort of a classic French tartare. You have a little caviar on top, you have quail egg, and then the Japanese sort of elements would be, there's a pickled heart of palm, and the heart of palm is the red element on the dish. It's got a bit of marinade, which is red wine and beet juice. And again, this is sort of in sticking with Japanese tradition.
I love the presentation. It looks like a combination of a Buddhist mandala and a spaceship. I actually think that the fish itself is actually quite flavorful. And as much as I love the kind of salty creaminess of the whole thing, I'm feeling myself sort of tempted to pull out the fish and eat it by itself.
Chef.
Okay, so for our second course, we have raw matsutake mushroom that are in the bowl. As well as that, for texture, you have a little bit of crispy shallot, you have celery leaves, and then there's a couple of pieces of blackfish sashimi, which I would ask you to eat that first. The broth is an infusion, basically, of matsutake with a little bit of soy and sake as well. And the mousseline of blackfish is made with just a touch of scallop to sweeten it up.
I think the whole thing is wonderful, and the aroma of the soup is almost impossible to describe. I mean, that in itself is a whole other experience. When I tasted it, I wanted the taste to match that mushroomy, smoky aroma, but I do like it a lot, and I think it's very successful.
It's really extremely powerfully mushroomy, kind of overwhelmed everything else.
Chef.
Okay, so again, this is sort of a take on a Japanese cuisine that incorporates a couple of very traditional flavors. So underneath the fish, you have a little bit of burdock, and also on top, a crispy piece of the fish skin, and then the broth is derived from the cooking liquid of the burdock and shiso. The fish is cooked very, very slowly, sitting on little planks of cedar or hinoki wood, which imparts just a little bit of a smoky flavor to the fish.
I don't feel that the fish flesh itself has that much flavor, and I don't know if that's because of the slow roasting or not, which can go too far. But overall, I mean, this is really, really tasty.
Thank you.
Chef.
Okay, so here we have, this is very simply blackfish piperade. So this incorporates a little bit of Spanish influence. So you'll find a little bit of chorizo, a little bit of roasted pepper, tomato. Very, very simple. The broth is made with a bit of chorizo, lobster, finished with extra virgin olive oil. That's it. Fish is roasted and the skin should be a bit crispy.
Yeah, I love this. You've won me over with this. I mean, I think this is terrific.
Thank you.
Iron Chef Morimoto. Please tell us what your inspiration was for today's secret ingredients.
Well, basically, blackfish does not have a lot of character. They eat a lot of shellfish, and their cheek muscles are very strong. But again, not a lot of character, so I had to flavor from the outside. Also, I had to add oils from deep frying and the caul fat.
Okay, this is the first course.
So, for the first course, I have some blackfish under some rice paper so it can soak up the salt. Normally, I would use sake, but today I sprayed it with gin because, well, that will go well with the matsutake sauce. Next to that is cheek sashimi flavored with kombu and sea salt. Next, there's some kombu marinated blackfish rolled with sweet shrimp and one rolled with sea urchin. So please, enjoy.
I tend to be skeptical whenever sea urchin roe gets stuck into something, because I'm afraid it's going to overwhelm, you know, whatever it was with. But I actually like that combination pretty well. And I'm so glad you used the cheek muscle, because I always think that is one of the tastiest parts of a fish. And especially, like you were saying, with this fish that is such strong jaws, I think you were very smart to use that muscle.
Iron Chef.
Okay, this is my second course.
Okay, this is my second course. This is fried blackfish with lettuce and a steamed bun. I'm serving it with an XO sauce. You may want to try a bite without it and then one with the sauce.
Well, I'm having fun with the steamed bun because I used to have to eat those when I lived in China every day. And they don't have a lot of flavor, but when you put in this Chinesey sauce he has here too, pretty fun.
You said you had to eat them every day in China.
Yeah, every day it gets a little old. But the sauce is nice.
Exactly, and I love that, and I love steamed buns in China, and I think it's delicious.
Iron Chef.
Okay, this is the next course for me. Now for you. Okay.
Okay, this is my next course. It is blackfish and black chicken soup. On the spoon is a blackfish mountain yam mousse that you can put in the soup. There's also a piece of fried, pounded out blackfish you can dip in the soup if you'd like.
This has a very nice comfort food feeling to it, like very simple. After a long day of working outdoors in cold weather, you would really, really want to eat this.
Iron Chef.
Okay, this is next course.
Okay, for my next course, we have blackfish wrapped in lobster. I pounded that out, and then I wrapped the lobster around the blackfish and then wrapped it in caul fat. The fat will help bring out the flavor of the blackfish. So this isn't just a lobster dish. The sauce is yuzu butter, vermouth, shallots, and fish stock.
I like the interplay of the miso and the capers and the onion a lot, but I do feel that most of the flavor from the dish is coming from that. But my concern is actually that the fish is getting a little lost.
Haven't you had enough fish flavor by now?
No, man. I read a whole book on fish. I can keep going forever.
Thank you, Iron Chef.
Thank you very much.
Today, two champions met in Battle Blackfish here in Kitchen Stadium. Iron Chef Morimoto, Chef Samorosti. The judges have spoken, and the winner is Chef Samorosti.